The voices of Bret the Hitman Hart and Slick Rick Flair. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Saturday, May 23rd, 2026, the beginning of Memorial Day weekend. Lines are jammed. All's well in the world. The weather goes like this: 76 today and sunny. Warmer tomorrow and 82 and 83. It starts out on Memorial Day itself, and then it drops down, and we get a little bit of rain in the afternoon. A lot of email, a lot of people. I want to go right back to our caller, Pete, who was kind enough to stay through that, all of that. Pete, you're back up on the air, man. Go ahead, brother. Go get him.
Okay, thanks. Hey, with Dean Singleton, even though he's Denver Post mainly, I think, I agree with his analysis. And my suspicion meter went up on Victor Marx. I never heard of him until I started getting weekly mailings asking for donations. And the dear ones in my life are all evangelical Christians. I try to be one, but I never raise my hand because I don't want to embarrass the faith. But Charlie Kirk, he's been around for he's a very young man, but he's an extraordinary human being.
I'll tell you what, he was a talk show host.
Yeah.
He came on and I listened. I thought he had tremendous talent. I mean, let's put a religion aside for a moment. He was a great talk show host, and he was a comer.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's quite an endorsement, and that's the esteem that he had with me. So when I heard him Victor Marx make claim that he was Charlie Kirk's mentor,
yeah.
I started paying attention to Victor Marx, and I said, now, something's backwards here, because I don't care how old Victor Marx is. If anybody was a mentor to anyone, Charlie Kirk would have been a mentor to him. Because Charlie Kirk, hands down, is heads above, shoulders above.
Yeah. There's all kinds of weird. There's all kinds of weird stories about when Victor Marx made that claim that he, in advance, he knew, and I don't know what all you do with it, but it's all part of. It's all part of this picture that's being painted that I don't buy. How's that? I don't buy. So
well, and Pete, if you listen to the interviews, he talks about how it was just a couple of years ago. He was at a church revival or whatever in Oxnard, California, or something, and that's where he met Charlie Kirk. And from the educational parlance, which I used to be involved in, we would call Victor Marx an exceptional child, twice exceptional. And one of the characteristics of exceptional children is they come out of so much abuse that they create reality. And
but if the abuse is true, I mean, again,
right.
I mean,
like the cat's head on.
Yeah, I mean, the black belt stuff and all of it. I sat and talked to the guy for an hour,
and I heard every bit of it.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I know what I know in the places that I've been, and I'm not so sure.
Right.
That he's been there or done that. But
hey, Pete, I've got a great suggestion for you. I would love it if you know what speed chess is?
Yes, I do, but I can't play it. Yes, but I know what it is.
Well, but you could if you did it in this format, because the depth and breadth with which you talk, I've listened to you for years, and I can't believe the subjects that you're able to cover. If you would have a speed timer with an AI interface, and you and AI would go at it, I'll bet you'd be competition to AI.
Well, the staff fights against AI. They beat it. They go in and tell them they're wrong. I haven't gotten into AI very far. I mean, I know that, for instance, the newscasts that we have here oftentimes are AI. I don't know. I mean, I think the one that comes at 1 o'clock when the show's over is an AI cast. We're headed off. I mean, with Dean talking this morning about everything that's going on, the media is changing. The old media is changing.
Right.
I don't. You can, and I still. I guess nobody else seems to be upset, but CBS News Radio ends last night at midnight,
Wow.
and they played
Wow.
Murrow's sign off of "Good night and good luck." And
God, what history!
but the golden age, the true golden age of radio was that time period with Murrow and I mean they were in Europe, and they were covering everything with probably 3 or 4 guys, and Severide jumps into Burma, and Cronkite goes ashore in Normandy, and I mean they were just, and then they broadcast radio. They weren't doing TV. They were just doing radio when they did that. And Murrow, standing on the rooftops in London before the United States was in the war, it was the Battle of Britain, it was the Blitz, and he's standing on that rooftop and he's talking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Pete, this is what I mean. I think it would be ear candy to all of us if you would just have a live debate with AI, and you and AI would go back and forth, back and forth. I'll bet you would never get worn out.
Get a sore arm. Thanks, man. Good call. Thank you.
God bless.
You too. Danny Kaplis' law firm. Dan's my guy. If you want your case to be taken seriously, you should choose a law firm that's taken seriously. Kaplis Law is taken very seriously. Dan's my guy. Dan Kaplis Law, a real trial firm that proves the truth when insurance carriers don't want to pay. Danny comes in. There should be an out-of-court settlement. Danny's law firm, the only lawyer in Colorado history. They're going to win 11 straight 7-figure jury verdicts, including a record $205 million jury verdict in a wrongful death case. The largest truck crash jury verdict in Colorado history. There's the man, Dan Kaplis, a serious firm for serious cases. They accept righteous injury and death cases on a percentage fee basis. And he's there. There's no upfront fees, no charges for the initial consultation. Call the man up. And Dan's firms offices are now in Denver, in Greeley, Loveland, and Fort Collins. If you want your case to be taken seriously, you call Dan 303-770-5551, 303-770-5551, or dankapleslaw.com. Danny's last name is Caplis, caplislaw.com. Let me see. This is a text that says, give me the details on the car show. I heard the end of it. Yeah, it's the concourse, and it's June the 7th, and it's at Arapahoe Junior College, and they open the gates at 9 in the morning, and they close at 3, and I've gone. I went for years just because it was great, and if you love cars, and it's I mean, it really is a don't miss show. They got a couple of bikes there, but they just have great cars. Did you find any of that stuff? All right, just to give you a burst. Don't even. I mean, you can tell me what it is, but I'll probably guess it because I'm. What do we got? What are you going to play here?
So this is Edward R. Murrow standing on a London rooftop during the Blitz. This is from September 21st of 1940.
Now remember that the United States is not in the war yet, and they've done Lend-Lease. They've done, FDR's met. They've talked. He's met with Churchill. Churchill's in. Maybe you can find a Churchill speech. He goes some neck, and he goes some neck, and he talks about some chicken, some neck, and that's a powerful. But these are the voices of these tremendously brave men doing an incredible job. So London's in the Blitz, and Edward R. Murrow is talking to America. 700 radio stations are carrying CBS News. 700 stations. So my folks and your folks and grandfolks and great-grandfolks were listening to this on that night.
I'm standing on a rooftop looking out over London. At the moment, everything is quiet. For reasons of national as well as personal security, I am unable to tell you the exact location from which I'm speaking. Off to my left, far away in the distance, I can see just that faint, red, angry snap of anti-aircraft bursts against this steel blue sky. But the guns are so far away that it's impossible to hear them from this location. About 5 minutes ago, the guns in the immediate vicinity were working. I can look across just at a building not far away and see something that looks like a splash of white paint down the side. And I know from daylight observation that about a quarter of that building has disappeared, hit by a bomb the other night. Streets fan out in all directions from here, and down on one street I can see a single red light, and just faintly the outline of a sign standing in the middle of the street. And again, I know what that sign says, because I saw it this afternoon. It says, "Danger, unexploded bomb." Off to my left still, I can see just that red snap of the anti-aircraft fire. I was up here earlier this afternoon and looking out over these housetops, looking all the way to the dome of St. Paul's. I saw many flags flying from staffs. No one ordered these people to put out the flags. They simply feel like flying the Union Jack above their roofs. No one told them to do it, and no flag up there was white. I can see one or two of them just stirring very faintly in the breeze now. You may be able to hear the sound of guns off in the distance, very faintly, like someone kicking a tub. Now they're silent.
Is that radio?
4 searchlights reach up.
Whatever we've done,
The light of a three-quarter moon.
it's not that, is it?
I should say at the moment there are probably
So that's Murrow, who last night they used his famous sign-off, "Good night and good luck," and then came nothing. I understand why it had to go, and I understand all of that, but how about that? And that's what America, in all the syndicates that CBS News had, they're listening to Murrow, and he's ad-libbing every bit of that. There's no script, there's no nothing to that. He's standing up there, and of course, that famous picture of St. Paul's. And then the other great moments of all of this is Winston Churchill. And Churchill was born to do this. And he could have easily been a radio star just standing on his own. But here he is. He's prime minister, and he talks about Herr Hitler was going to come and do all these things to the British. Now, he's in Parliament. There's a hole in the roof. And this is how tough they are. And they're waiting that morning, and Winston Churchill addresses all of Parliament, and it has to go in tandem with what Murrow has just done. So it goes like this. You got him? You got Churchill?
I'm not sure if it's queued up to the right spot.
What's the? Yeah, okay. If you just play it, just let it hit.
When I warned them that Britain would fight on alone, whatever they did, their generals told their prime minister and his divided cabinet, in 3 weeks, England will have her neck wrung like a chicken. Some chicken. Some neck.
That was it. I mean, giants walked the earth. They really did at that time. Some chicken. Then he gets that 3 beat and he goes, some neck. And he took them on. And at the same time, you know, the devil his due, Adolf Hitler understood it, understood radio. He understood radio. The people that understood, FDR understood radio, the fireside chats. But nobody was Murrow. Murrow stood alone. And I don't know. And then when it all shuts down and I'm an old guy and you think, man, I mean, I can close my eyes and I wasn't there yet, but my mom and dad talked about, my mother talked about Murrow talking out of coming from London, and then those replays, and then FDR trying to give confidence to the country. The country's in trouble, and FDR giving it confidence. Back to the phones we go. We go to Brian in Arvada. You're on the radio show. Good morning.
Hey, Pete. Good morning.
Hey, brother.
You know, I'm no fan of Victor Marx. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, half of what he says is a lie, so, I mean, he's a liar. But my thing is, you know, it's always the old guard. They're going so hard at him. He obviously has a following, okay? But you're going to tick off everyone that likes him. And my wife went to some event, and she's apolitical as it comes, and she listened to him. He went to some school event, and she liked what he had to say. Now, I told her all this history that we're discovering about him, and so she's like, well, I don't like him anymore. But, I mean, these people that then you're going to ask for their vote, and you're not going to get it because they're going to stay home. And I don't care if it's Kirkmeyer or Bottoms, they're not going to get Victor Marx's vote because they're going so hard at him. How about just let him run his mouth and let the voters decide? But the Republicans will never do that. They always have to just go hard to the outsiders and alienate them and demonize them so that nobody will vote for them. And all they do is lose those people's votes who they're going to need to win.
Two things. One is it's great talk radio fodder. It really is. I mean,
they're doing shows on it, Pete, like multiple shows on this guy.
I know.
How about just one show?
No, I mean, I'm not in charge of what anybody does, and every Saturday, one Saturday he was in the studio, he turns up. And I'm not. This is an analysis, not a comparison. He now is, and again, if you remember the Ramsey case, he's Patsy Ramsey. He's the get. And there's a thing in our business called the get. And the get is the person that everybody is talking about. And one of the more interesting moments in the time I've spent doing this job was I had the guy that owned Denver Players and Sugar. I had him lined up to go. And the attempts to stop him, they didn't want him in the studio. He was the get, you know, and that's one of the explanational fights that I'll never really get an answer for. But he was the get. Right now, Victor Marx is the get.
Well, do we have to go at him so hard?
Well,
that I mean, I think it's already been exposed. I mean, he can't get people on to collaborate some of his stories. He's lied about the lies that he lied about. So it's like, okay,
and that's
now we're just going to keep pounding it.
How about you listen?
Until
I got a break. You want to stay with me? Stay with me. I'll put you on hold.
Okay.
All right. 303-696-1971. Good afternoon, everyone. We have two lines open. It's Saturday, May 23rd. Stay right here.
Your 710 KNUS forecast on this Saturday. Partly sunny with 30% chance for afternoon showers, along with gusty winds at times, highs near 75. Lingering showers tonight, lows down to 45. Mostly sunny for Sunday, highs near 75 degrees. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. I'm day weather meteorologist Patrice Sutter in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Better believe it. Afternoon, everybody. 23 May, 2026, beginning of Memorial Day weekend, 26. 710 KNUS. Lines are jammed again, 303-696-1971. And 76 will be the high today, 82 tomorrow, and Monday, 83 degrees. Talk about your health for a minute. And we all know a great smile matters, and lots of folks put off the dentist because they're worried about the bill or the drill. It is time to change what you think about the dentist. And my guys, Twin Aspen Dental Center, Dr. Richter, Dr. Snyder, and Dr. Rich. The latest tech makes sure things are great. Talking about same-day crowns, no temporary crowns that come off on Friday night. No second appointments. They do it right there. And you need dentures or implants, and you're ready to straighten things out with Invisalign. The team at Twin Aspen Dental treat you truly like a neighbor, not a number. They accept most insurance. Their in-house membership plan is game changers for families looking for the save on the preventive care. These are my guys, and putting it off, taking that first step towards the better smile and better health. Visit them online, twinaspendentalcenter.com, twinaspendentalcenter.com. Easy to navigate, and you can see everything they offer. They are my friends. They're great. twinaspendentalcenter.com or 303-841-7466, 303-841-7466. I mean, for real, these are just the guys. Men and women, Twin Aspen Dental, your smile will thank you. All right, we go back to Brian, who was kind enough to go on hold. All right, Brian, you're back on the air, brother man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, the state's going to hell in a handbasket pretty quickly. I'm a third-generation native, and I'm getting ready to leave. Once my kids graduate from high school, I'm probably out of here. But I've had family members that moved to Texas, South Dakota, places like that. But here we are. We got the weakest candidate. I mean, Bennett or Weiser.
Did I lose you? Brian, did we mute him?
All Adams is a conspiracy theorist of pedophiles. And then you have Victor Marx. And we can't coalesce around one person, or we could the whole problem with the GOP in Colorado is you lose the base if you try to get unaffiliated.
No.
And if you get and we need somebody that can keep the base but get unaffiliated. No one's been able to do it. Don't listen to Dick what not to do Wadhams. Don't listen to the old guard, because they've taken us into the desert.
Here's something that's weird for you to think about. The old guard won.
30 years ago, Pete.
No, I don't care. The old guard.
Why am I listening to somebody who won 30 years ago? They haven't told us who to win, how we can win in the last 20 years.
No, because the other people told you how the win was going to happen, and it didn't.
Pete, I could tell you what not to do.
I can tell you.
That's not an expert in my opinion.
No, wait a minute. No, hang on. Of course it is. I mean, it isn't.
Tell me what to do to win.
I'm saying that.
Nobody on the GOP side can tell you that.
Well, how about...
They can just tell you, don't support Dave Williams, don't support Victor Marx, don't support.
Well, why
but they can't tell you who to coalesce around.
Well, I think they have, but...
Dick Wadhams hasn't picked a winner since Bill Owens. Who cares?
He hasn't been involved. I mean, he's been on the sidelines.
He'll go on the air and tell you who to vote for, not to vote for.
Then that's my fault for inviting him on.
Well, that's not. It's not helpful though. I want somebody on that'll tell me who to vote for that's going to win, or a strategy that wins.
Look, you don't think it's not.
We don't have anyone.
No, listen, Brian. In spite of what people want to believe, it isn't done on talk radio.
No, but we don't have. That's what I'm saying. The GOP doesn't have anybody that can tell you that we don't have a candidate that can keep the base.
Look, they're asking
and get unaffiliated.
My friend, they're asking for.
We just don't.
They're asking for the impossible in a state where the largest political party is unaffiliated. And so elections are one in the middle. So let's make a supposition that the Republicans are going to vote for whomever the Republicans pick. The Democrats are going to vote for whomever the Democrats pick. But the win takes place in the middle. And in the middle lies people or live people that look at Victor Marx and go, "You're kidding me." And so they can't.
No, you're right.
And so.
But here's the difference between the two. The Democrats run to the middle and they don't lose their base.
No, but
they are lockstep. The Republicans will run to the middle and they'll lose their base because they're going to tick off.
But you don't think for you think for a second?
Stay home.
Wait a minute.
I will stay home.
Whoa. Do you think for a second that Hank Brown and Bill Owens were Christian nationalists?
No.
That believed elections were stolen? No.
No.
And so you
but
put.
Let
me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
So you put somebody up there that says those things. The middle, the average whomever that is going to look over there and their elections are stolen. And this Christian, they run like the wind to get away from it. It's the truth.
But then you have people like me, Pete, that's unaffiliated. Now, after Tancredo, they torpedoed Tancredo.
Sure
I
did.
walked away from the GOP. Well, and they lost. And just because Tom said something about Mecca, bombing Mecca, or something dumb like that.
No,
but they didn't want him. They didn't want him because he wasn't a lockstep water boy.
Brian, I was with Tom Tancredo, lockstep, best friends all the way, rode motorcycles together, ate dinner at his home, he ate dinner at my home. We were those best friends. And I'm telling you, they came after Tom for 1,000 things, but they never liked Tom. They never liked Tom. I'm talking
and
about.
If they don't like you, Pete, they're going to get rid of you, and that's the problem with the GOP in Colorado.
But they never liked Tom, and Tom's still my guy. Pick up the phone right now and call him. Say that's me. He'd meet me.
I love Tom Tancredo. He's a people's man. He's for the people.
Brian,
he doesn't pull punches.
Brian,
and they didn't like him.
You have no idea.
They didn't like him.
You have no idea what a good man he is. But
he should have been our mayor. He should have been our governor. And they had May run. And that guy, I mean, it's just May, Day, all those people they tell us that we need.
But there were
losers.
There were other good men. There were other good women. There were other good politicians, Republicans. But they wouldn't have been these Republicans.
After Tom, I don't think that we've had anybody that would that I would get excited over at all.
No, but they were Republicans, and they won.
I don't think we're going to win. We have 800,000 transplants in the metro area.
But you did not return a comment to what I said. They were Republicans, and they won.
Well, I don't know what to say, Peter. It was 30 years ago. It's like the guy that said, I won a state championship 30 years ago in high school. So what?
So what?
What have you done since then?
He won. But he hasn't worked on. I'm not going to defend anybody here one way or the other. But look, those guys won. I mean, you can't rule RULE unless you win.
It was a different landscape. I think we're dealing with a different landscape, just like you said. We were more red back then. We're not now. We have more unaffiliated than not, and they all lean left. All of them lean left. They just want to say they're unaffiliated just because it's cool.
They don't lean left, but they don't take crazy right. Well,
if that's how you depict crazy right, like I think some things nefarious went on in the election. I'm not an election denier, but I think some nefarious things went on. And if you talk to Tina Peters' lawyer, have him on the show. That would be a great show for you to hear.
I did have him on. I had him on last Saturday.
And the whole Statmatic story and how that turned into Old Dominion in Venezuela.
And also, come on, I had then we have.
But Pete,
look.
But I don't want to be alienated because I think
Brian, a moment ago you said you're not an election denier, and you come up with that Venezuelan swill. I mean,
I think there was some nefarious things that went on. But why do I have to be lumped in with the deniers just because I think things were wrong?
My friend, words like
you're going to lose me.
Listen, I'm not trying to win you or lose you. When you say things,
I know, but I'm saying the GOP is going to lose me.
When you say,
because I'm not going to say the election was stolen.
Listen for a second. When you use words like think and believe, you've lost me. You have to know.
Okay.
And you don't.
And that's going to be the problem, Pete, because we'll get lumped in with the crazies, and I'm not crazy. I just don't believe it was on the up and up. That's it.
Then you're not on the up and up. You take care.
But I'm not crazy, though, Pete.
I'm not saying you're
crazy. And that's what the GOP... Well, you're not, but the GOP is going to lump me in as a crazy and lose me because I don't think the election was up and up. I'm not saying it was stolen. I'm not saying this.
Of course
it just wasn't.
Of course you're saying it. But the point of it is, it wasn't.
And there was going on in Georgia. It just didn't seem legit. But I'm crazy because I believe that.
You can believe whatever you want. You can believe the moon's a balloon. Belief is a belief. Only that, nothing more. It's what makes religion.
Well, I read the Wisconsin Supreme Court dissent.
All right, okay.
And that's a lawful document.
Find them away.
That they said that they changed elections in the middle of the stream, and they weren't allowed to do that.
How many
times they changed the way they did elections?
How many times have we been over this? I appreciate your call.
Well, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Be safe. All right. Evan, you're on a radio show, Saturday, May 23rd. Good afternoon.
Yes, I hope I'm coming through 5 by 5.
5 by 5, you are.
Just wanted to jingle you, sir. You always have good shows, but when you played the slot from Edward R. Murrow, it triggered
wasn't that
some thoughts on me.
No, that was radio. I mean,
yes, sir.
You can sit here and take calls, but that was radio.
Yes, sir. It triggered three things, two which I just consider facts, and the third one just a theory. But I was born in Seattle, and the very first floating bridge, which was completed, looks like in 1940, was named the Lacey V. Murrow Bridge.
Oh, man.
And Lacey V. Murrow was the brother of Edward R. Murrow.
It was Murrow's brother, yeah.
Who
sure.
became a two-star general in the U.S. Army Air Corps.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And later the head of the Department of Transportation for the state of Washington.
Yep.
1940, I get my dates a little mixed up, of course, because I wasn't there. But the other thing it triggered was there was actual bombing. You could hear the bombing, and I think if you had a video of it, you could see the bombs blasting in London.
But he did that. He did it every night. My parents were. Let's see. I'm trying to think. They weren't married yet, but I had to think of them as young people listening to Murrow, and everybody in the country listened to Murrow.
Yes.
And he,
so I wasn't that either.
The American firsters hated him. Charles Lindbergh and Senator Bora and those people, and they hated him because they thought he was pulling our country into the war. And in many ways he probably was, being an Anglophile and anti-Hitler, and he's standing there at night, and there's only a couple. Severide's not there, I think Scher's there, and there might have been the two of them. Scher's in Germany till he's asked to leave.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he wrote inside the Third Reich. He was at Nuremberg at the rallies at Nuremberg and wrote about what was taking place. Read what he says about Nuremberg. Those were just powerful But you're right about Murrow's brother.
well rehearsed. As I understand, they both went to Washington State College in those days at Pullman for their training. The concern I have, and I would welcome your thoughts on it, is that you can bomb people and you can bomb people, but you really can't end the thing until you, I don't want to see it, it's on the ground.
You have to occupy. That's right. No matter what, you got to go in.
Yep, the Germans bombed and they never invaded, so they couldn't.
Take care of yourself.
And we can do it on D-Day.
No, and that's what, and that was the great lesson that the British would survive. The North Vietnamese survived. I mean, it's like you bomb people, oftentimes you just increase their resolution to stay that way. And it was true with the Afghans. I mean, it's nuts. You take care. Thanks for a call, man. It was good. Have a good Memorial Day, man. Thank you. All right, everybody. 303-696-1971. Rounding third and heading for home. what is it now? 12:39, 12:40 on 710 KNUS. happy music. Saturday, 23rd of May, 2026. Memorial Day underway. 76 the high today, 82 Sunday, 83 on Monday. 710 KNUS. Thank you for being here. All's well in the world. Two lines are open. 303-696-1971. Go to the one. Now there's one line open. Briscoe, my man, you're on a radio show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pete. Hey, I'll cover it quick. I'd like to talk about Marx maybe for a minute and then the radio and the Churchill stuff was great. I really like the idea of you versus AI. And the car show, that's where I went to college, is at Arapahoe Community College in an automotive program. But to start with Marx, the guy saying, why keep talking about him? And to put it simply, his foundation is a lie.
Yeah.
And we need to keep attacking it. And the reason, this is a relevant issue. It's not, the election's not over. The primary's still going on, right? They haven't even decided. So it's relevant. That's why it's being talked about. And, he gives such, I call it amoeba answers, where it can change form. And he can go around whatever the current person who's questioning him says to try to fit it to where it doesn't sound so bad.
And he's very good at it. He's very good at it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, unfortunately. And it's funny, like I've said this joke a few times now talking to people about Marx, is that, he'll straight up lie or be deceitful. And then it's like, we know his background was not in politics, but then you find out how good he is at lying and whatever, and it's like, oh, he's a perfect politician. It's a horrible joke, but it's true. No, it's like, oh, man, he's qualified.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is true. It is true.
And the Churchill stuff with the old-time radio, I'm a fan of Joe Rogan, and Rogan will often be like, oh, my gosh, people still listen to the radio. But you go back far enough, and like World War II era and the radio stuff, and people who were very smart, such as Churchill, there's a wealth of knowledge to be learned from.
Well, they knew. I mean, there's a whole theory about that time period and the men that knew to use Adolf Hitler, FDR, and Winston Churchill. Well, no, it wasn't so. Well, Goebbels was great. I mean, he really. He was
careful.
No. He knew what he was doing. Again, I got into a whole thing on Goebbels, and he had been a young socialist of all things, and I read his PhD. I really did. I read his PhD.
Oh, geez.
It was called German Michael a German Worker was what the title of his PhD, and he came under the influence of Hitler, and he was the Gauleiter of Berlin, and he ran a Griff, which means the attack, and he ran the newspaper, and Magna was his wife, and she murdered all of her children. I mean, they were unbelievable, but he had it, and you have to understand that when the Joseph Stalin, who had a squeaky, they said that like Joseph Stalin, if he were to speak to you and I, and we could understand it, he would sound like a southern, uneducated. You know how we look at that. Hey,
ignorant.
Yeah, but he was a Georgian.
It would come through in his speech.
Yeah, he was a Georgian. He wasn't a Republican.
Yes.
And he had gone to seminary for a while, but that was as much as he had been educated. He was a bank. He was a bank robber, is what he was. He was a bank robber, and
I knew he came from Georgia, and he was not well educated. Didn't come from money, where Trotsky had money, and so did Vladimir.
Well, Trotsky's
money backing him, I should say.
Now, Trotsky's name is Bromstein, as his real name.
Okay.
And Leon Bromstein, and he chooses the name. They chose the name. Stalin is, I won't do it right, but Dujavili, I think, or Dujavili is Stalin's name. Lenin is really Lenin's name, but but Trotsky was Leon Bromstein, and they chose names like Steel was Stalin, and
and strong names. You're selling a product almost like
sure,
PR.
Of course, yeah. And wait a minute, Lenin's the spark. He wasn't. Lenin was. Come on, Peter. Lenin wasn't Lenin's name, but it was Trotsky was the pen, I think. They had names that they used in the revolution, but Trotsky was a hell of a writer. Trotsky ended up in New York. He wrote in New York, and then he went to Argentina and he got killed. But
man, so many of them were safe in Argentina.
Yeah,
so the Mossad went after some of them.
They got buried an ice pick or an ice axe in his head, killed him.
Oh man!
But
that's a one way to go.
That's a hell of a way to go. But FDR understood the radio. Winston Churchill and Adolf Hitler understood the radio, and Joseph Goebbels understood. But in the meantime, Stalin had no clue. The only thing that they did was, when Barbarossa begins, he opens up all the churches. He opens up and he goes into the gulag, and they get out all the old Orthodox priests and they put them back in the churches, and they start talking about. They don't talk about saving Soviet, Marxist, Leninist. They don't. The collective. They don't talk about anything. They said that Mother Russia, saving Mother Russia. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And they have nothing to do with Karl Marx, but it's everything to do with Holy Mother Russia, and they bring the priests back out and open the churches and ring the bells and do everything. They're all very clever. I mean, that's the thing about it.
You take the routine that's in place, like you're talking about the churches.
Yeah.
Take the things that are in place and slowly take it the direction you want. You don't do a 90-degree turn. You slowly veer the way you want.
But throughout all of it, I think the most clarion voice was always Churchill. I think that Churchill at the heights of the Blitz, that some chicken, some neck. That's just, and you can see he's ad-libbing it, and you can see he takes a 3-beat. He goes some chicken, and Parliament goes wild, and he goes boom, 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 some neck. He gets it.
He was so intelligent.
Those guys.
It's great. There's a band called Iron Maiden, and they have a song. I believe it's Aces High, and the opening part is part of a Churchill speech. And it's good to see the heavy metal kids learn about Churchill through that.
He was, and FDR. I mean, FDR understood the radio, and Harry Truman was terrible on the radio. Eisenhower was terrible. Jack Kennedy understood television. First guy to understand TV, and he had help, and he knew what he was doing, and he was special. After that, not so many people. Reagan really got it, but he was a radio guy.
Oh yeah,
he was a radio guy.
Right. Yeah, his background was so deep in being in front of the public. Like it amazes me. You saying this, like, this guy was good, this guy was bad, this guy was good, this was bad, with communication. Like, communication is so important when in politics. I mean, it's important everywhere. My 12-year-old son and I, communication is super important.
Yeah.
It's most aspects of your life, communication is so important.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be on a national stage, you better be good at communicating.
Yeah.
And every opportunity you get, try to do it. And again, going back around to Victor Marx, avoid.
Sure.
That's not the right way.
No.
But
no, but he's got the support. I'm jumping. I love you. Thanks, Bob. Be safe.
I love you. Bye-bye.
All right. 303-696-1971. Lines are open. Yeah, when you play those cuts, and with the end of it all coming last night, and you think of this Murrow character on the rooftops, and then they'd go back and they'd